While fiction often dominates movie discourse, the first experiments in cinema were really documentaries. Turning their cameras towards the real world, filmmakers have harnessed this genre as a tool for education and interpretation of the oftentimes complex reality that surrounds us. And while documentary is a remarkably powerful tool for observation, this power has, and continues to be misused when representing global cultures and communities.
Armed with primitive weapons, the Waodani hunter relies on extraordinary skill and cunning to harvest the bounty of the forest.
The ethnographic film is widely defined as an anthropological approach to documentary, which historically presents the lives of non-Western individuals as the centerpiece of the film. To closely examine the genre, one must consult its early form. In 1922, Robert Flaherty pioneered documentary with his ethnographic film Nanook of the North, which depicted the daily lives of an Inuit village in northern Canada. Not only does the film itself present the lifestyle of Indigenous Canadians as a spectacle, but as it later came out, many of these scenes were staged to make the Inuit subjects appear less advanced than they truly were. Directed to use outdated tools and marvel at the wonders of Western technology, Flaherty designed his film to appeal to white audiences. This calls attention to a key term in media studies: primitivism.
My name is Raphael. I'm going to meet the tribe to try and find out more about this magic honey.
Nomads depend on the animals that yield nearly all of their food.
There is a fable told by a mountain people living in the ancient highlands of New Guinea.
For this giant metropolis is where order gives way to some form of chaos, but from that chaos comes great experiences.
Playing into the deep-rooted desire of contact with otherness, primitivistic films often feature themes of exploration, danger, spiritual wisdom, and of course, white saviorship. Many of these use conventional storytelling techniques, such as the use of an omnipresent narrator, often speaking over the voice of those being filmed.
When Randu's brothers died, he inherited lots of cattle, along with responsibilities for his mother, for others in his family, and for the family.
But like any issue in media studies, it's complex and nuanced. Complete eradication of the ethnographic genre is hardly a solution to primitivistic representation. Instead, we can encourage an awareness of power dynamics within nonfiction filmmaking.
It really has to do with what's in the mind of the filmmaker. I think that's the important thing. You can be very distant and very cool, and yet the way you frame and the way you edit can really make it a very intense, kind of relationship between the subject and whatever.
By analyzing who's behind the camera, just as much as those in front, the colonial viewpoint imposed on non-Western subjects by Western filmmakers may not be removed, but at least brought to light.
Scarcely 20 years were enough to make 2 billion people define themselves as underdeveloped. I do not intend to speak about, just speak nearby.
In this documentary, filmmaker Trinh T. presents a disjointed portrait of Senegalese culture, investigating ethnography as its own contact zone between primitivistic desire and the lives of non-Western subjects.
The eternal commentary that escorts images.
Through the nonlinear editing, the focus of each shot changes at a chaotic and rapid pace, forcing viewers to observe rather than assign meaning to each clip. The reduced accessibility of the film challenges traditional modes of ethnographic storytelling, and subsequently the conventional way in which we view otherness in documentary. Examining ethnographic works from the past and present leaves us with one pressing question: where do we go from here? While education and awareness of global cultures remain ever important, we can reform the way ethnography attempts to foster this education. By acknowledging who's behind the camera, we can engage in open discourse about the viewpoints filmmakers impose on their work. By thinking critically about how we both view and create within this genre, we can move forward with more knowledge and ultimately more respect for those who sacrifice the privacy of their lives for the sake of storytelling.